Hi everyone, welcome to the video. In this video, we are going to see Bruno as a product. I will walk you through Bruno and what are the features that Bruno have, what makes Bruno special and first choice for the developer, what Bruno is doing different compared to other API testing clients, how to use, where to use, and what not to do, what to do, everything about Bruno. So if you are someone who is complete beginner and want to understand Bruno, want to contribute to Bruno as an open source product, as open source contributor, so this is a perfect video for you to get started. So let's get started. So as you can see on my screen that Bruno reinventing the API client. So at Bruno, we believe that there is some issue with the existing API client and there is should be an innovation, should be should be there. And that's what exactly we mentioned that reinventing the API client. So we are just not thinking to reinvent, we are actually doing that. And how we are doing that, let's see in the next slide. So key features of Bruno. Bruno is an open source API client. And I personally believe if you want to build something for the developers, it should be open source because it gives you power of the community where developers can actually come and share their opinions, where people can actually create issues, contribute to the documentation, product, and be a part of community where you can actually understand what people actually want and what actually you are building. So when it comes to balance, you build a really good software application. So it's my personal opinion, but yeah. So Bruno is open source client. So if you are someone who want to contribute to that, feel free to go to github.com use Bruno, which is a official organization page where you can go and actually contribute to product. After that, Bruno is a fully offline API client, which means you don't need to store your credentials anywhere in the cloud where you have to collaborate with someone. You have to store your credentials on your cloud or somewhere on the internet. So the issue is here where any person which is outside from the organization, if able to get the access of those credentials, they can actually misuse and perform a malpractices on your data or your entire APIs, not just APIs with your entire system. So you have to make sure that everything is secure and Bruno giving you that data privacy, that security by removing that cloud layer where Bruno is a complete offline application, just like a VS Code, which is also built top on Electron. It's a JavaScript framework which allows you to build a desktop application. So it just removing that layer and giving you more data privacy and security. So whatever you store inside the Bruno, it's on your local system, on your local machine, not somewhere in the cloud. And third thing, which is a Git integrated, which I believe that no one in the market currently doing the Git integration with the API testing client. So currently, when you want to collaborate with your API client, so you have to share that particular collection with anyone with the email or somewhere in the cloud, just like you do with a Canva design sharing and that stuff. But in Bruno, just like a developer thing, when you build application, you put on the GitHub and you collaborate with your colleagues, with your developers, and you track every small changes with a version control system. And the popular version control system is Git. So same thing for the API. Why not your API should be on the same path? Why not API should be a part of your source code? So we believe in that, and in collaboration, you share everything on the Git. You just create a collection inside a Bruno, you make a Git initialize, you post on the GitHub, and you can track every small changes. So if someone left your company and the particular person is managing that collection, so you don't need to worry about if that particular person is leaving your company. You can just simply check every small changes made by that person or made by anyone in the team, because you have version control system where you can track every small changes. And as I mentioned, Bruno is offline. So file system based is same part of fully offline client where you can just make sure that whatever you're creating inside a collection, whatever you create inside a Bruno, it stores on your file system, not anywhere in the cloud, because Bruno is offline API client. Scripting. Scripting is something that every API client allows, but in Bruno, there is a special thing that you can execute any NPM package through your through your scripting, just like Axios, Moment, Lodash. These are the libraries which normally people use when it comes to API and scripting, where you have a prescript and postscript inside a Bruno, and where you can actually use these libraries and actually execute a lot of things and manipulate a lot of data. You can do a lot of automation there and testing with the different scenarios. So this is the key features which makes Bruno different and the first choice of the developers. Now we'll see the installation part, how you can start with the installation, how you can start running Bruno inside your application, inside your desktop, and how you can get started with Bruno as a API testing client. You have to go to usebruno.com, which is the official website for Bruno. Go to download section and you can download the latest Bruno app. We recently did a revamp, which is a major release for the OAuth. You can also check out the whole documentation to read more about that. This is a thing. I am a Mac user, so I will go with Mac Silicon, and I already downloaded the app. I'm not going to download again, but it's a simple step. You just need to download. I already have created a video where I explain everything while how you can set up a Bruno with a Brew, which is a package manager for Mac, and how you can do with the Silicon files as well. So you can feel free to watch those videos as well. You can just simply download these files and you can start using it. So just go to Bruno and I will just divide Bruno interface in two screens just for the simplicity while explanation, just to simplify everything. So Bruno have this interface and I will divide into two sections. So this is the left side, which is a sidebar, and this is the main content, which comes familiar with web development. So this is a sidebar. I will quickly show you what are the options that Bruno provides here. And then we can jump to this part. So here is the context menu, Eclipse you can say, where you can actually click on create a collection. When it's you want to create a collection, you can just simply click on this. You can mention a name that a Bruno product walkthrough, and you can just mention a name where you want to store. And I want to store inside a desktop Bruno. I will store it and I will just create that. After that, the second option we have is an open collection. So imagine that you already have a Bruno collection inside your system and you want to open that. So you can click on that and you can open any collection. Just like I want to open a Bruno collection, I will just simply open that. And it will just open all the APIs and all the folders. In Bruno, there is a third option. You can choose from the context menu how you can actually import a collection. So you have Postman collection, or you are migrating from the Postman, Insomnia, or any other tools. And what you can do is you can go to context menu. You can select a import collection and you can go to Postman collection. I have one Postman collection here. Just a random Postman collection. I will simply store it properly. The Postman collection, I want to store it here. I will store that. I will import that. So this is my Postman collection, which I exported from the Postman and I imported in the Bruno. So this is all the stuff. So same thing you can do with the Insomnia. So you have this Insomnia option where you can actually choose a Insomnia file and you can import the collection. And you can also clone a Git repository. You can open a OpenAPI v3 file, OpenAPI v3 URL as well. So I will just quickly open a v3 file just to show you how you can do that as well. So if I go to collections and Postman OpenAPI, I have this pet store. It's a popular OpenAPI collection or popular OpenAPI specification called pet store. You can get it on the online as well if you search it. So I have this file. I will store this thing inside OpenAPI. Fine. And I imported the OpenAPI specification as a Bruno collection. You can do that. You can see all the users, all the current, and you can execute the request. You can see all the requests are there and execute, and all things are there. So you can do the same thing with the importing collection, create a collection. And now come to next part, DevTools. So in Bruno, for debugging your request and debugging, just understand what's going wrong. If you want to just go into deep dive of your particular request filing and you want to just understand what's going wrong, and you can write a script and you can just console it, just like we do for the normal projects, like a normal debugging. You can do that. So Bruno provides a console like a Chrome where you can actually, I'll just make sure that it look like this. Yeah. So it's just that where you can actually get it values into a console and you can select a source. You can do a bunch of stuff. but mostly developers going to use the console. So you can do the same thing. You can go to any collection, any request, and you can in the script you can say console, and it will just print the value here, and you can do a debugging. So this is the walkthrough. I don't want to dive into every small section. We'll create a separate section for debugging and all this stuff. But right now, we'll just keep it everything introductory to just get you started with the Bruno. So this is the DevTools. So these are the Chrome DevTools. What Bruno provides a Bruno DevTools where you can actually do a bunch of stuff. You can convert JSON to YAML. You can prettify JSON. You can do a JWT decoder as well. So imagine that you have a JWT token here and you just want to decode that. So mostly you can go to JWT official website. They also provide the same thing and some other third-party applications as well. But in Bruno, if you just have a token and you just want to decode that, so you can just put your token here, it's just a random thing, and it will just decode the values. So you can also do that. What are the other things? So Bruno provides prettify JSON, just like you have a particular JSON file or JSON thing, and you just want to prettify this stuff. So you don't need to switch to any other third-party application again. You just put your JSON here, and you can just prettify it, and it will just give the prettified JSON. In JWT decoder, JSON to YAML. If you are a really senior person, really good experience with the APIs or just configuring your DevOps stuff, you're going to work a lot with a JSON and YAML file. So you have to make sure that you have something which converts your JSON to YAML and YAML to JSON, that conversion. So in Bruno, again, you don't need to navigate to any other tool. Bruno inbuilt provides a solution where you can actually put your JSON data and it will automatically convert from the YAML. Once you click on this convert page, so it will do that for you. So this is about the DevTools. This is all the stuff. And yeah, creating an API spec. So Bruno allows you to create your custom API spec. You can design your own API spec. You can write a YAML configurations. And I will just quickly show you how you can do that. I will just name it as a demo or just sample. I will do that. And you can just store it here. OpenAPI spec, and I can, yeah, good with that. Right now I have this sample file. You can write your OpenAPI 3.0 name and bunch of stuff, all the specification, and it will show you the output here. Right now I don't have any sample API to show you how it actually works. But again, it's the introductory section. Feel free to explore, create an OpenAPI spec and design your stuff, and you will see the output here. But I will show you one thing. If you already have an OpenAPI spec and you just want to see how that particular thing looks into the Bruno, so you can just quickly OpenAPI spec, pextro.json, and it will show you the complete Swagger interface. So inside of Bruno, how it works internally, actually, inside of Bruno, we use the Swagger UI. So when you have this YAML specification, YAML or JSON, there's two formats which support OpenAPI specification inside of Bruno. So it just takes that YAML or JSON specification and just pass it to Swagger, and that Swagger UI just gives the output in the nice looking format. So just a small introduction inside how it technically works. And you can execute the request. You can see the documentation. It's a nice documentation. You can see OpenAPI is built for that, where OpenAPI documentation makes simplified to understand what that API works, what are the different endpoints that they have. That's the use case of OpenAPI spec, and you can get to see here. So again, like all the customers, all the IDs, all the endpoints, everything. So you can see that as well. I will just quickly close this. So we are done with the context menu, all the basic features which you need to get started. So this is the most important. The collection thing is the most important, which you are going to use when it comes to work with Bruno. If you want to create a collection, if you want to open a collection, which is existing collection of Bruno, and if you want to import a collection from Postman, Insomnia, or OpenAPI, or from the GitHub as well. So this is something that you can do. Now come to next part. So this is a collection. You can actually just order it with the sequencing, just like a capitalization, just a wording, like if I just do A to Z, which means it's follow the order of A, B, C, D, and it will just give the same thing there. So Bruno collection, Bruno, again, just ordering stuff. And if you do this, it will just reorder it from the Z to A, if I'm not wrong. So it will just do this stuff. So when it comes to reorganization, you can choose this simplified way to do that. And this is a search panel. If you want to search a particular collection, you can do that from here. Every search option that do simple stuff. Again, these are my collection, and I'll just quickly show you at the bottom which I have. We have settings and preference page here. So this is a display, proxy, license, and golden edition and this stuff. You can do that. These are the cookies where you can add cookies, and it's a nice interface. You can also raw edit, and you can add cookies here. You can navigate. It's a license key. These are the notification. So when Bruno sent you any notification, you can get to see a orange color icon here, and it will just you just confirm that you have a particular notification. You can see from that. So all this stuff currently we are done with this sidebar. I will just quickly give a walkthrough of the collection, how it actually looks like. So this is the collection level setting. So except from preset, proxy, client certification, secrets, these 5 tabs are going to be a common at folder and request. This is the client. This is a collection level preset and proxy thing. And these are the 5 tabs which are going to stay same for the folder and request. So this is the overview page where is the API documentation. I can say this is Bruno product walkthrough. And it will just simply say this is a markdown language actually, so which you can actually give h1, h2, tables, and a lot of stuff, images, things you can do. So this is the documentation, this is the location, and these are the headers. So when you add a headers here, it's going to be same for the folder and request. So you can actually set a headers at collection level, so you don't need to set headers at request level or folder level. You can just you will just get associate these headers, and you just take that from your collection to the request, just like authentication where you don't need to. So this is a header section where you don't need to add a header at each request if you have a particular use case. So you can add at collection level, content type application JSON, and you can just simply add a JSON values here, and you can just simply access those values inside your folder or collection all along to collection. Again, variables, if you set a particular test request, if you want to get the results of that, you can set a collection level request, collection level variable, and you can access those variables inside your request folder. Authentication, if you have a particular request which needs a parent authentication from a collection or folder, you can set it from here. Again, for the script, in a pre-request, you write a code which is going to execute before the request, and post is going to execute after the request execution. Again, test, if you have any test case which you should be, that particular test case belongs to collection, you can add it from here. This is a preset. The preset is really interesting thing. I find preset is really interesting as a feature. So imagine that you have a particular request which is going to be a common for all your requests. So you can simply save this here for the HTTP protocol. And when you're going to create any request inside that collection, so when it create a request, it will just show you this already available request which is coming from the preset, and you can just name it as a sample request, and you can just create that. So it's created. But what if you haven't added that here? So it would show you have to manually do that stuff. So right now, if I create a request, it's showing me nothing. I have to save this. Right now I saved. If I go to, it's showing me nothing. I have to manually type that sample2, and I have to manually insert a request each time. So it just automates that stuff. That's the use case of the preset, which is really helpful. Again, this is a proxy. This is a collection level proxy. This is a global level proxy. So if you have proxy off, so it's just off for everything. If you just keep it on, so you can add it for all your collection, all the stuff, and you can access it from the collection level. So when you say global means you turn on this proxy from here, and you're just accessing these values here. If you say enable, which means it's going to use this collection level proxy or the global proxy which you set from this preset, from the settings. And when it comes to client certificates, you can add a client certificate just like cert, PFX, P12 certificates. Secrets, which is again, if you have any Vault, which AWS Vault or Azure Vault, you can just go to secrets, you can set up a local server and you can access it from here. So that's the collection level settings. Come to folder. Inside the folder, we have header, script, test, which is a similar tabs which I showed you in the collection level. So this is the same use case which I explained before. And same for the request. There are few things which are different is a path param and query param. So if you have any queries, you can add that like question mark and you just make sure that you're adding a value here. So we just add that. Same with the params when you do something like this. So it will just do that stuff for you and you can just simply say the variable name and all this stuff. You can add it here. Simply, if you're sending a post request, you can send it from the body section. You can set a headers here, auth. You can set up a different auth. Bruno support this kind of authentication. You can read a documentation to go through how you can use individually this. I just auth through auth 2.0, API key, bearer token, vars, secrets, and this stuff. So we are done with the collection, all the context menu, OpenAPI spec, how we can import a Postman in collection. So now just go to context menu at the collection level, click the three dots, you can create a new request, new folder, new script. You can clone this as well, you can run, you can rename it, you can share this collection, which is a fetch in Bruno feature, which I created a video as well. So you can watch that, but you can share your collection with anyone through the single URL. So that feature, you can delete this settings again, it will just go you just redirect you to settings level, your collection. Folder also have the same thing. One interesting thing that collection level have is, I showed you everything. The interesting thing is that drag and drop. So if you want to just drag and drop this thing, you can just drag and drop that. I put it here. I just want to put that here. And just if you want to use this request here, you can just drag drop. So this is the drag and drop option which works, and you can use that for just reordering structure as you want. So we are done with all this stuff. Right now, just come to main screen here. We are done with the sidebar, whatever we go, or whatever we have in the sidebar, we are done with that. So just come to a main screen. So in the main screen, as I mentioned that you have this overview document, you have this structure, everything looks like this. So Bruno has the two modes. Right now we'll go to a navbar at the top. So Bruno have two modes, a safe mode and developer mode. So when you're going to use a particular library or something, so you have to be in a developer mode. Make sure that you read the documentation. There are a lot of npm packages like Axios, Lodash, Moment, which is inbuilt. You don't need to be in a developer mode, but there are still libraries where you need to turn on this developer mode and it works correctly. And even also debugging, make sure that it's a good practice to turn on the developer mode. So this is about the safe mode. You can see this file as a brew file. When you click on this file mode, it will just show you the what is that particular file is have, what are the body content posting. You have this file with all the bodies and data. So next thing is Git, which is a really important feature when it comes to Bruno and sharing your work and collaboration stuff. So you go to main, you just create a new branch, you push it, pull, and you can do this particular collection is already Git initialized. That's why I am able to see this. If not, I'll just go this. Yeah. If not, then you can just simply click on this Git. You can initialize this. You can add a origin here, just like add the remotes, add a origin, and you can say https github.com and URL of this particular GitHub repo. You can add this, you can create a branches, you can local remote, and you can do a bunch of stuff. You can go to Git UI, you can add changes, and maybe you can do a lot of stuff. The same thing you can do with the Git, you can do inside a Bruno by doing this. And when it comes to collaboration, it should be same for the development and same for the API testing. It should not difficult when you actually collaborate with your team on the cloud. It's better. It's 100% better than when you collaborate with a Git as a version control system for your APIs. So this is a history feature. What are the requests which I executed and all this stuff. You can see here, this is a collection runner. And if you want to run a collection, you can run this with this collection runner and run with the parameters. If you have a data, if you want to do a data driven testing, you can read a documentation on the docs.usebruno, how it works actually. But you can pass a CSV file here, you can mention values and you can do a data driven testing as well. And this is a runtime variables where you can see actually I have one runtime variables called increment and value is 1. Environment variables, these are the environment variables. You can also check from here. Collection level settings, again you can do this from here, you can do this from settings, you can do this from here, different ways, same output. Global level variables, so Bruno has 6 to 7 different variables: runtime variable, request variable, folder, collection level variable, process environment variables, request level variables, and every section have this variable section where you can create a variable. And Bruno also have bruno.setVar where you can actually set a key and value. So you can also do this. So Bruno provides a different kind of variables which have a different scopes, and it just gives you more power when it comes to automating and doing API testing work. So make sure that you read the official documentation to understand how variables actually works inside a Bruno. So this is a global var. You can set up from here. You can add a variable or you can create one. You can just configure it, add a value, and this hi2, this variable is available all along the multiple collections, because it's a global variable. And this is a collection level variables. So you can configure it. You can add a base URL. I have this base URL and this is a Swagger pet store collection. So I can simply use that base URL like this. So I can use the base URL like this and set up here. So I can do that quickly. I don't need to write a HTTPS or something because I don't want to show my URL publicly. I just want to keep it secret. So you can do that. So these are the environment level variables which has the environment level scope. So it's only accessible in this collection, which belongs to this collection, not this one. But the global level variables, as I mentioned, these global level variables are available or accessible all along all the collection you have inside a Bruno, like this collection, multiple collection. So we are almost done with all the scenario. We covered everything. Right now, let's see the response and other stuff. So I'll just quickly show you that how it actually works inside the Bruno. HTTPS echo dot usebruno.com. I will just quickly execute this request, and inside the body we have this ID name data and we're getting the same value. This is the echo Bruno server endpoint, which will just give the same response which are passing from your request body. So these are the headers. This is in the timeline. You can see all the request headers, response headers, network layer. You can see all the request headers, response headers, network logs. So these are all network logs which you can see all the timings and all the details and all this information. Inside a body, what you have inside a body, you can see this body tab as well. In the test, if you have anything here, just like I will just simply say, just simply add a response.body should be, or not a response.body, it should be response.status. If I just quickly execute this, so it will show me that response.status is equal to 200. So it will just show you the assert section. If your assert is something which is very handy. Response section is really handful, or which is just quick thing. So you don't need to write any kind of code if you are just want to do a pure testing or want to use every inbuilt function. So you have a bunch of built-in functions which is more than 20 or 15, I don't know. So you can just simply say a lot of things and you can just make sure just you're passing the real values and you can do this stuff. For the complex scripting, for the complex testing scenarios, you can use this test tab where you actually have to write a code and you have to name of the test, this function here, and I'll just give you the simple example how it actually works, and you can just pass it here. And we can say expect, and here you are just passing response dot status to be to equal, can just say to equal 200. You can see that I have response status equal to 200, and it's showing me a green because my test cases are passed. That's all. So again, you can erase the test cases. You can just remove the response. You can download a file. You can actually download this response as your file from here. It will show the response HTTP status code of failed or pass time and the size of your response. So yeah, this is a complete product walkthrough of Bruno. I hope I haven't missed anything. Let me know in the comments if I missed something. We'll create a separate video for that. But this is a complete product walkthrough for the people who are completely new and want to understand each and every feature which we have inside of Bruno. I explained every feature that we have. The Git feature is a paid, which is a part of commercial product. So you can go and just check out the pricing page, and I make sure that everything is available in open source. It just Git is the part of uh, commercial, but everything is available inside what you want to do with your API testing. Open source product includes everything from beginner level to advanced, what you want to do with the Bruno. So this is a pricing page. You can check out that what is available inside open source, what is the pro and ultimate. You can check out this, and yeah, feel free to do that, or we can simply go to docs just to give the examples. So this is the docs. You can check out the get started, Bruno basics, how to create a collection folder, which I explained you already. Import data, how to import a Postman, Insomnia collections, safe and developer mode, what is the difference actually, where to use, what not to use, send request, and bunch of stuff. So thanks for joining me today for this product walkthrough session. Hope this session will be helpful for you, and you'll learn something from this video. Share your feedback inside a comment and let me know if you have any feedback. Feel free to join Bruno Discord server to just share your knowledge and learn more about Bruno. So thanks for tuning in. See you in the next video.